Okay, so let's discuss about the connective tissue. So what do you remember about the connective tissue? What do you remember? क्या होता है connective tissue? क्या होता है connective tissue? What is connective tissue? See, start revising. Repeatedly, I am telling you guys, start revising. I hope you have seen the result. Huh? No, just ask your seniors. They will tell you. Okay. If you don't want to repeat the same, start revising. Don't waste your time. Now, time is very precious. Whatever topics we are discussing, not in my class, in any other class, okay, try to complete that topic. So connective tissue is the tissue that connects, separates and supports all other tissues of the body. First of all, it will connect, it will support and it will separate all other tissues of the body. Along with that, it also fills the interstices between the different tissues, different organs, to hold them and to support them together. Okay, मान लो दो tissues है, in between both the tissues the connective tissue will be present. Now this connective tissue, either it will hold both the tissues together, okay, it will support both the tissues together, or it will separate the tissues from one tissue to another. Along with that, it fills the interstices, or you can say it fills the spaces or the gaps which are present in between the different structure in our body, okay, to hold them together and to support them. That is the connective tissue. Next, though it is a tissue, that means cells will be there. Always keep that in mind. कोई भी tissue है तो इसका मतलब cells रहेगा. Okay. Same like the epithelial tissue, in connective tissue also cells are present. But the difference is, in case of connective tissue, cells are widely separated, okay, from each other, not closely placed, widely separated from each other. Next, the cells which are present, they are having different structure and different function. In epithelial tissue, if you take the example of simple columnar, simple cuboidal, all the cells, the shape of the cell, size of the cells were same. But here what happens, the cells are of different size, different shape, functions are also different. Okay. So that is one of the important aspect of the connective tissue. Next, in case of connective tissue, so though we are revising, that's why we will go a bit faster. Okay, next is the connective tissue. In the connective tissue, you have to know about the components of the connective tissue. Okay, how many components are there? 3 components are there: cells, fibers and ground substance. Okay, so you have to know about the cells, what are the different types of cells present, then what are the different types of fibers, and what is exactly present in the ground substance. Okay, for that chart I have shown you that day. Okay, so with the help of this chart you can understand the components of connective tissue. Now, how many types of cells are there? 2 types of cells. Okay, what are those 2 types of cells? Resident cells and vendering cells. Resident cells mean permanent cells. They are permanently present in the connective tissue. Okay, vendering cells are also called as free cell. They are not permanent member. They are just like refugee. From somewhere else they have migrated to the connective tissue. If you see the list, it is mainly made up of different types of WBCs. Okay, as you can see the list: lymphocytes, neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, monocytes, etc. Okay, next 3 different types of fibers are there: collagen fibers, reticular fiber and elastic fiber. So you have to know about the fibers also. And lastly the ground substance. ठीक है, तो ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस में क्या क्या कंपोनेंट्स रहता है, हाउ द ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस इज फॉर्म. एज यू कैन सी अगेन 3 कंपोनेंट्स आर देयर: प्रोटीओग्लाइकन्स, ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स एंड ग्लाइकोसेमिनोग्लाइकन. These are the 3 components present in the ground substance. Okay, so we'll see one by one. Before that, let me show you the diagram. Yeah, so this is an ideal diagram where you can see all the components of connective tissue. Okay. So what you can see over here, it is a schematic diagram, okay, showing the components of connective tissue. So here you can see cells also. Can you see the cells? So how the cells are placed, widely distributed, okay, throughout the ground substance. Next, one cell and another cell, huge gap is there in between the cells. They are not closely placed. Next, you can see different types of fibers also. Okay, so these are the different types of fibers. Okay, so the fibers are also present, and these components are held together by ground substance. So this is the orientation of connective tissue. Now here you can see the diagram. Now this is a schematic diagram, okay, but this schematic diagram is based on each and each staining of different types of cells present in the connective tissue. Okay. Now which is the most abundant type of cells present in the connective tissue? Which is the most abundant type of cells present in the connective tissue? That is the fibroblast. Okay, fibroblast cells. These are the most abundant type of cells present in the connective tissue. Okay. Now, though they are abundant, so they are having some important functions also. For example, if you see the fibroblast, first of all, they are spindle shaped. Along with that, they are having cytoplasmic processes in them. That is their appearance. Next, laying down of the matrix, that is the ground substance, and production of the fibers, mainly the collagen fibers, are done by this fibroblast. Okay. Next, when it is associated with the reticular fibers, at that time these fibroblasts are also called as reticular cells, and even they can produce elastic fibers also. Okay, so that's why these are the most important cells of connective tissue. Okay, next, other types of cells are there, fibrocytes, as you can see. So these are smaller, thinner and immature cells as compared to the fibroblast. Next, macrophages are also there. As you can see, macrophage cells are there. Okay, the macrophage cells का function क्या है? Phagocytosis. So it is present in the connective tissue, and the macrophages of the connective tissues are also called as histocytes. Okay. Next, you can see the mast cells are there. Okay, and they are having granular appearance. Okay, see this granular appearance can be seen in the mast cell. तो जो mast cells होता है, these are the precursor of histamine, which produces allergic reaction in our body. Okay, histamine. So they are also present. Next type of cell, if you see, then these are the adipocytes. Okay, actually जो adipose tissue होता है, in that adipose tissue, the cells which are present, these are the adipocytes. Okay, two different types of adipocyte cells are present. One is unilocular, another one is multilocular. Unilocular, the shape of the cell is larger as compared to the multilocular. And if you see the adipocytes, okay, inside the adipocyte, fat droplet is present. Okay, because adipose tissue का function क्या है? Storage of fat. So if you take one individual cell, inside that fat droplet will be present. Now, because of the presence of the fat droplet, all the cellular organelles are pushed towards the periphery, as you can see in the diagram. ठीक है? ये देखो, this is the nucleus. So where the nucleus is situated? Towards the periphery. Why? Because fat droplet is present, and if you see the center of the cell, it is empty. देखो white appearance दिखाई दे रहा है. Can you see why it is empty? Because fat droplet is present. When we are preparing the slide during tissue processing, the fat is washed away. So if it is washed away, you can't see anything. It will be empty. Okay. So that's why in case of adipocytes, the appearance which can be seen, especially in case of unilocular, that is called signet ring appearance. Signet ring appearance, the ring which you wear, okay, जो ring पहना है, जो ring पहना है, ठीक है, that is the appearance. तो exactly ring जैसा तो नहीं दिखता है, but still it is denoted as signet ring appearance. So I am having one slide of adipose tissue. So I will show you the slide of adipose tissue. Okay. So here you have to see the slide. You have to identify the cells. When you identify the cell, at that time you will see such kind of appearance of that cell. Okay. Next, if you see other cell, pigment cells are also there. Okay. तो जो pigment cell होता है mainly produces melanin, and those pigment cells are mostly present in case of skin and in case of iris of the eyeball. Next, these are the list of WBCs which are present in connective tissue. So they are Vendering cells. Okay, that means they have been migrated from the bloodstream, blood supply, and then they have reached in the connective tissue. Okay. So different types of cells having different functions. Now mostly the WBC part you will study in physiology in detail. If it is not done, it will be taken in physiology. Next is the fibers. So how many types of fibers are there? 3 different types of fibers are there: collagen fibers, elastic fibers, reticular fibers. Now the question is, what exactly you have to know about the fibers? Any idea? जो fibers होता है in connective tissue, what exactly you have to study about the fibers? Mainly 2 things you have to know. First is the physical properties of the fibers, दिखता कैसा है, okay, and second one is example, that what are the areas of our body where these fibers are present. Okay, these 2 points should be there. अगर एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आया, इफ यू आर राइटिंग अबाउट द फाइबर्स, दोज 2 points should be there. Okay, so I hope you have observed that every time I am mentioning that for this point, this particular part, these points are required. Okay, so that you must note it down, and while preparing the note, those things you should follow, or else during the time of exam you will be writing 2-3 pages. ठीक है, but you will get very less mark or sometimes 0. Why? Because the most important thing, whatever it is asked, you have not written. Okay, and another important thing, this is not literature. ये जो subject है ये literature नहीं है. So if you think that we will write, we will create our own story and then we will write 2-3 pages, we will be getting the marks. अगर ऐसा thinking है तो please change your thinking. Okay, because I have seen students used to comment that I have taken 4 pages, 5 pages, but still I am not passing in the exam. So it doesn't matter 4, 5 or how many pages you have taken. What you have written, that is important. Okay, in 5 marks, writing 3 pages unnecessarily, that also important point is missing. Okay, and creating your own story, own theory, नहीं चलेगा. This is not allowed. ठीक है, so from the beginning I am telling you guys that this is not literature. Okay, so the facts, whatever is mentioned in the book, whatever we are discussing, those things you have to write along with the diagrams, at least to get passing mark. So next time when there will be any exam, I don't want to see anyone writing so many pages, extra things. Okay, please be specific, because see, if you are writing all those unnecessary things while doing the evaluation, that person used to get very angry, because we have to search the points which is required. In order to search the point, we have to, suppose you have written 3 pages for one answer, 5 mark, we have to read all 3 pages to find out those points. नहीं तो कैसे मार्क देंगे? ठीक है, तो that is very irritating. Anyway, so in case of fibers, what are the points required? First of all, physical properties, and second is the example. These 2 points should be there. Next important thing, in case of fibers, okay, we need electron microscope. Normal compound microscope, under normal compound microscope, you will not be able to see the fibers properly, mainly the physical properties of the fibers. Okay? So for that, what we require? We require electron microscope. Now, the images and the description, whatever will be explained, those are based on electron microscope structure. Now this is a diagram showing the electron microscope structure of collagen fibers. ठीक है, देखो कैसे दिखता है. Now with the help of that, we have to understand the physical properties. So first of all, the collagen fibers, different types of collagen fibers are there. Okay. Approximately 29 types of collagen fibers are there in our body. Among them, 4 to type 5. Okay, proper researches are there, and the examples are given that type 1 to type 5, where they are exactly present in our body. Beyond that, the researches are still going on. Next, if you see the collagen fibers, first of all, they are always in bundles. Okay, if you see the collagen fibers, always they are in bundle. That means single fiber nahi rahega. Okay, so many fibers, they will form one bundle. Okay, and suppose you have taken a sample, you will be getting bundles of collagen fibers. Okay, now the bundles which are there, suppose 2 bundles of collagen fibers are there, they can branch or anastomose with each other, but the individual fiber of the bundle always run parallel to each other. Okay, that means suppose एक bundle है और एक bundle है, so those 2 bundles can cross or anastomose with each other, but the individual fibers inside the bundle always parallel to each other. These are some important physical property. Next, depending on the force applied on the collagen fibers, okay, the bundle may be straight or wavy. जितना ज़्यादा force होगा, उतना ज़्यादा wavy होगा. Okay. Now, if you from the bundle, suppose you have taken one individual fiber. So पूरा bundle है, bundle में बहुत सारा fibers है. From that you have taken out one individual fiber. Okay, collagen fiber. Now that individual collagen fiber, can you tell me it is made up of what? It is made up of fibril. Okay, so one individual fiber is made up of numerous fibrils. Now if you take one fibril, then you will see that it is made up of microfibril. Now what exactly is that microfibril? These are nothing but the chain of tropocollagen. Those microfibrils are the chain of tropocollagen, which is a protein, and the arrangement of those chains of tropocollagen are in such a way that they overlap with each other. Okay, मान लो एक chain है, दूसरा chain है, like this, they overlap with each other, and because of this overlapping, when you will see the bundle, and inside the bundle when you will see the fibers, you will see that striations can be seen. Okay, तो striations क्यों रहता है? Because of the overlapping manner of the tropocollagen protein. That's why striations are seen. Okay, so that is all about the collagen fibers. Now the question is, what will be the examples of collagen fibers? One thing you must know that collagen fibers are the most abundant type of fibers in our body. सबसे ज़्यादा fibers अगर है in our body, those are the collagen fibers. ठीक है? Now, what will be the locations? कहाँ पे रहता है? In most of the areas you can see collagen fibers. The best examples are ligaments. Today we have discussed about the ligament. Then capsule, tendon. Okay, these are the areas where these collagen fibers are present. Now here you can see one diagram. In this diagram, the collagen fibers can be seen. So this is a diagram of a ligament. Both TS and LS can be seen. This is the LS, this is the TS. So here you can see the bundles of the collagen fibers. Okay. So as I mentioned, collagen fibers are always in bundles. Okay. Next, some fibroblast cells can also be seen because it is an example of ligament. Okay, तो उसमें connective tissue है. If connective tissue is there, you will be getting the cells also and small amount of ground substance also. So after staining it under H&E, this is the appearance of the collagen fibers. So you can see the bundles together, but the physical properties of the fibers cannot be seen under compound microscope, and special staining is also required for that. Okay, next is the elastic fibers. Okay, so elastic fibers, what are the physical properties? First of all, the number of elastic fibers are less as compared to the collagen fiber. Next, if you see the thickness of the elastic fibers, that is also less as compared to the collagen fiber. Next, the elastic fibers always run singly. It means single fiber is there. Means they doesn't form bundle. Bundle form नहीं करता है. Single fiber रहता है. And those fibers always branch and anastomose with each other. That is the physical properties of the elastic fibers. Okay. Now, can you tell me some examples of the elastic fibers? Best example is wall of the elastic artery. जो larger arteries होता है in our body. Okay. So in that, if you see the wall of those arteries, then you will be able to see the elastic fibers. Next, ligamentum flava, one ligament is there. ठीक है, उसमें भी elastic fibers रहता है, which is present in the vertebral column. Next, if you see the EM structure, electron microscope structure. This is the diagram showing the electron microscope structure of elastic fibers. तो उसमें क्या दिखाई देता है? Elastic fiber, electron microscope structure of elastic fiber. तो in case of elastic fiber, as I said, bundle में नहीं रहता है, single रहता है. If you take one fiber, you have taken TS, and if you see inside, then you will be able to see an amorphous core is there. जो center वाला part होता है. Okay. Now suppose this is one fiber, ठीक है? What you have done? You have taken a TS of the fiber. TS लेने के बाद अंदर क्या है दिखाई देगा, ठीक है? तो जो center वाला part है, the center part is made up of amorphous core, and in that amorphous core a protein is there that is called as elastin protein. Elastin protein, ठीक है? Next, if you go to the periphery, in that periphery some microfilaments are present, and those microfilaments are made up of a glycoprotein. Okay, and that glycoprotein is called as fibrillin 1. That glycoprotein is called as fibrillin 1. So this is the EM structure. The central amorphous core, which is made up of elastin. Okay, and at the periphery you can see these are the microfilaments. Those microfilaments, okay, जो डॉट डॉट दिखाई दे रहा है, these are the microfilaments. Now, those microfilaments are made up of a glycoprotein that is called as fibrillin 1. Okay, this is the EM structure of elastic fibers. An example already I have given the examples of the elastic fibers. Okay, next is the reticular fiber. Okay, three types of fibers are there. First we have discussed about collagen fibers. Next we have discussed about the elastic fiber. The last one is the reticular fibers. Okay. Now for the reticular fibers, here also you can see a 3D diagram of the elastic fibers. Okay. Now this is a reticular fiber. Now, while explaining the collagen fibers, I have told you that approximately 29 different types of collagen fibers are there. Among them, type 3 collagen fibers are nothing but the reticular fibers. Okay, type 3 collagen fibers are nothing but the reticular fibers. First point. Second point, the reticular fibers are finer and more thinner as compared to the elastic fibers. Okay. Next, the reticular fibers, they also present single. मतलब बंडल में नहीं रहता है, दो दे आर टाइप 3 कोलाजन फाइबर्स बट स्टिल दे आर रनिंग सिंगल फाइबर रहता है. नेक्स्ट, just like the elastic fibers, they also branch and anastomose with each other. But what is the difference? The branching and anastomosing makes it or gives it a network-like appearance. Okay? जो फाइबर्स होता है ब्रांच एनास्टोमोस करेगा, इसके बाद एक नेटवर्क लाइक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म होता है. दैट इज द स्पेशलिटी ऑफ द रेटिकुलर फाइबर्स. ओके, so these are some important properties. Next, striations can be seen. Though it is a variety of collagen fiber, that's why striations can be seen. Next, what will be the example? So always keep it in mind. जो reticular fibers है, they are forming the framework of different organs present in our body. For example, lymphoid organs. जितना भी lymphoid organs है, उसका जो framework होता है, it is formed by the reticular fibers. Then it is present in case of kidney also, in case of liver also. These are the areas where reticular fibers are present. Okay. Now this is the chart where all the types of tissues are mentioned. All the types of fibers are mentioned. The location, how the fibers are oriented. Then striation, whether it is present or not. Then physical properties, as I have mentioned. Okay. Now in the physical property, whenever collagen fibers are present, it will provide tensile strength to the tissue. Okay, and elastic fibers, it will keep it is highly elastic. And whenever reticular fibers are there, okay, having little elasticity and tensile strength. So these are some important physical properties provided by the fibers whenever they are present in the particular tissue. Next, the staining. Different staining are used. Okay, so in all the cases same stain cannot be used. Fibers are different, so the staining are also different. Okay, and then the other names given to these fibers. Okay, so while writing in histo notebook, I will request everyone, okay, what you will do, instead of explaining about each and every type of fiber in 1 or 2 pages, just draw this chart in histo notebook. It will save your time. And the diagrams which I have projected earlier, you have to draw the diagram. ठीक है, तो एक पेज में that chart and एक पेज में तीनों डायग्राम, 3 फाइबर्स का 3 डायग्राम. That's it. ठीक है. Okay, next is the ground substance. Now in case of ground substance, as you know that 3 components are there of the ground substance, that is glycosaminoglycans, proteoglycans and glycoproteins. Okay, 3 components are there. Now each and every component is having a particular function. If you see the glycosaminoglycan, what is the function? They are responsible to maintain the physical property of the ground substance. ठीक है, तो उसमें क्या रहता है, डर्माटन सल्फेट एंड केराटिन सल्फेट, along with that hyaluron is also present. Next is the proteoglycan. Proteoglycan में core protein रहता है which helps in attachment of the glycosaminoglycan. And if you see the attachment, that is bottle brush structure. And lastly, glycoprotein, where fibronectin and laminin is there. What it does, it holds the cell in proper position in the extracellular matrix. That is the function of glycoproteins. Now all the components of the ground substance, as you can see, they are produced by the fibroblast. Okay, so in the beginning we have discussed about the fibroblast. So see, the fibroblast is very important for connective tissue. So up to that much we have discussed that day. Okay, next we will go to the classification of connective tissue. This is the function. Already we have discussed about the functions of the connective tissue. Next is the classification. How many types of connective tissues are there? 2 types of connective tissues are there. Okay, one is connective tissue proper, or also called as generalized connective tissue. ठीक है, in some book it is written connective tissue proper or generalized connective tissue, same. And another one is specialized connective tissue. Now can anyone tell me what will be the difference between the generalized connective tissue and specialized connective tissue? In specialized connective tissue, bone, cartilage and blood, three things are there. So among them bone is also done, cartilage is also done in the class. Now can you tell me what will be the regarding the connective tissue components, everything just now we have discussed, we have revised. Okay, now can you tell me what will be the difference between the generalized connective tissue and specialized connective tissue? देखो कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है मतलब all three components of the connective tissue will be there. ठीक है, तीनों components स्पेशल में भी रहेगा, connective tissue proper में भी रहेगा, but the difference is in the ground substance, or you can say modification is in the ground substance. जो स्पेशलाइज्ड कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है उसका जो ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस है और जनरलाइज्ड का है उसमें थोड़ा मॉडिफिकेशन हुआ है, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज स्पेशलाइज्ड कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. द बेस्ट एग्जांपल इज बोन, उसमें भी ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस रहता है बट द ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस इज मिनरलाइज्ड, कैल्शियम सॉल्ट्स आर डिपॉजिटेड, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज हार्ड इन नेचर. बोन इज आल्सो अ कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. ओके, so that is the difference. So specialized is done. Today we will discuss about the connective tissue proper. Okay. Now in the connective tissue proper, first is the loose areolar tissue, or also called as loose connective tissue. Before going to the loose connective tissue, please note that ये जो loose connective tissue है, this is the most ideal type of connective tissue. Why it is the most ideal type of connective tissue? Now suppose you don't know anything about the connective tissue and someone is explaining, or suppose you are studying about the connective tissue, ठीक है, at that time if you see the diagram of this loose connective tissue you can understand, or you will be having an idea about the connective tissue. Okay, now why I am telling you this? Because this is the most ideal type of connective tissue. जितना भी components we have discussed, okay, all those components are present in this connective tissue. Okay, now if you see, wait, I will go to the classification again. Now in case of dense regular, dense irregular, or elastic, or reticular, okay, you will not get all the components. जैसे मान लो dense regular, dense irregular, okay, you will be getting only collagen fibers. You will not get elastic fibers, you will not get reticular fibers. ठीक है. Next, if you come over here, elastic connective tissue, you will be only getting the elastic fibers. ठीक है, specific होता है. Then if you are, इसका तो पूरा structure ही अलग होता है, embryonic connective tissue that we will discuss. Okay, जो embryonic tissue में रहता है. Okay, but जितना भी components अभी तक discuss किया, सब कुछ together, where we will see in this one, loose areolar connective tissue. That's why this is the most ideal type of connective tissue. Okay. Now in case of loose connective tissue, as you can see, it is also called as loose areolar connective tissue because it is having a sampling of all the components of connective tissue. Okay. Now what it is having, first of all, connective tissue fibers are there, all the types of fibers, collagen fiber bhi hai, elastic fiber bhi hai, reticular fibers are also there. Next, if you see the cells, see fibroblast, macrophages, plasma cells, fat cells, white blood cells. Okay, so almost all the types of cells are present over here. Next, if you see the fibers and cells, they are embedded in a viscous gel-like ground substance. Okay, viscous gel-like ground substance में रहता है. Now here one problem is, if you try to see that ground substance after doing the tissue processing, then you will not be able to see. Why? Because ये wash out हो जाता है. Okay, that is the problem. Now loose connective tissue. Next, so these are the properties. Next example means कहाँ पे रहता है loose connective tissue. So if you take any blood vessel of our body, कोई भी blood vessel, artery हो, vein हो, around that blood vessel, this loose connective tissue is present, helping to keep the vessel in place. Okay, these are the location. So in the beginning I have told you, you have to mention about the properties of that connective tissue and then example or location. Okay, so here I have mentioned the properties, now I am mentioning the location कि exactly कहाँ पे रहता है ये connective tissue. ठीक है, तो what will be the example of loose areolar connective tissue? Around blood vessels. जो blood vessels है in our body, around that blood vessels it is present. Now this tissue is also found in between most of the body organs. Now this is the diagram. Okay, you can see loose areolar connective tissue. This is the diagram. Now here you can see fibroblast cell, lymphocyte cells. Okay, different types of cells can be seen. Along with that you can see different types of fibers also. Okay. Next, can you see those empty spaces? Can you see ये जो empty space है white color का? Why it is empty? Why it is empty, and what is the appearance? Why it is appearing like this? Because इसमें ground substance था, viscous ground substance. ठीक है, तो when we have prepared the slide, it is washed away. So something was there, washed away. So after staining, nothing will be there. That's why this white color appearances will be there. Okay. Now, what are the main functions? First of all, it provides support, provide plane for movements, and provide space for expansion of the viscera and blood vessels. So these are some important functions of the loose areolar connective tissue. Okay. Next is the adipose connective tissue. तो जो adipose connective tissue है, the main function of the adipose connective tissue is storage of fat, nothing else. ठीक है. Now, two different types of adipose tissues are there in our body, and in adipose tissue, the cells which are present, those are called as adipocytes. Again, two different types of adipocytes are there. Okay. Let me show you the diagram. Here you can see the classification chart. तो जो adipose tissue होता है, दो टाइप का adipose tissue होता है, yellow adipose tissue और also called as white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. ठीक है. Now you know that inside the tissue cells will be there. So this is adipose tissue. Now this what you see, these are nothing but the cells of the adipose tissue, and these are called as adipocytes. ठीक है. How many types of adipocytes are there? Two types of adipocytes are there. ठीक है. This is unilocular and multilocular adipocytes. So what will be the difference? First of all, if you see unilocular, it is larger as compared to the multilocular. Okay. Next, if you see the flat nucleus, it is flat, but here the nucleus is round. Now the nucleus here it is peripheral, but here it is eccentric in nature. Peripheral but eccentric in nature. I hope you know the meaning of eccentric. Next, the cytoplasm, it is mostly empty, only a small rim is present. But here if you see, foamy appearance will be there. So these are the differences between the two types of adipocytes. Okay. Now, if you see the location, superficial fascia, we will be discussing about superficial fascia, not now, next week it will be discussed. तो ये जो superficial fascia है, just below the skin superficial fascia रहता है, it is nothing but a modification of the connective tissue. ठीक है. In that, this yellow and in yellow bone marrow, these are the areas where this yellow adipose tissue is present. Okay. इसका जो function होता है, that is insulation and protection. Next, if you see the brown adipose tissue, the location in newborn child. Okay. And there are some areas in case of adult, for example, scapular region. Okay. And इसका function क्या है? Thermogenesis, production of heat. Okay. So these are two different varieties of adipose tissue and two different types of cells present in the adipose tissue. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me which type of adipose tissue is this? Among these two, which type of adipose tissue is this? Anyone? This is येलो एडिपोज टिश्यू. ये येलो एडिपोज टिश्यू है और इसमें जो सेल्स दिखाई दे रहा है, दिस आर द यूनिलोक्यूलर. ओके. अगर मल्टीलोक्यूलर होता तो क्या होता, जो न्यूक्लियस है राउंडेड होता. यहाँ पे देखो न्यूक्लियस फ्लैट दिखाई दे रहा है, ये देखो ये एक न्यूक्लियस है. ठीक है. और इन केस ऑफ मल्टीलोक्यूलर जो पोजीशन ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस है ये इसेंट्रिक होता है, नॉट completely towards the periphery, and other points are also there. Size of the cells will be small, amount of fat droplet present inside is also less. Okay, these are some important differences between the unilocular and multilocular adipocytes. ठीक है, तो unilocular multilocular adipocytes का जो location है it is different, तो you have to mention 2 different locations, okay, in your practical notebook whenever you are writing. And diagrams already I have shared that day. हाँ, कनेक्टिव टिश्यू का डायग्राम मैंने शेयर कर दिया, सो आई डोंट थिंक सो देयर विल बी एनी कंफ्यूजन. तो ठीक है, डोंट कॉपी फ्रॉम एनी सीनियर और एनीवन, जस्ट ड्रॉ दोस डायग्राम. आफ्टर दैट इफ यू आर हैविंग एनी डिफिकल्टी कम एंड आस्क. Okay, next is the dense connective tissue. Okay, now here what happens, it contains large amount of fibers and very less amount of ground substance. जो dense connective tissue होता है उसमें क्या होता है, huge amount of fibers रहते हैं, mainly collagen fibers, and very small amount of ground substance is present. Now because of the huge amount of those collagen fibers, if you see the cells, they are present in rows रहता है, different rows. In those rows the cells are present. Okay, now depending on the arrangement of the collagen fibers, orientation of the fibers, it is of 2 types, dense irregular and dense regular. Irregular मतलब जो collagen fibers है they are irregularly arranged, and dense regular connective tissue means collagen fibers are regularly arranged, as simple as that. Okay, now because of this arrangement, okay, the function is different and locations are also different. Okay, because of this arrangement of the collagen fibers, इसका जो function है ये particular tissue का, and इसका जो location है वो अलग है, it is different. Okay, now if you see the dense regular connective tissue, first of all densely packed bundles of collagen fibers are there. Okay, fibers lie parallel to the direction of force which is applied. Okay, and here you can see the fibers which are there present, they are in interwoven manner. Okay, irregular connective forms. Okay, the examples are the dermis of the skin, periosteum, fibrous capsule which are present in the joint. So these are some examples where dense irregular connective tissue is present. And if you see the dense regular connective tissue, they are present in case of tendons, okay, ligaments, aponeurosis, etc. Now because of this different types of arrangement, functions is different. You can see it provides tensile strength to the tissue, and here it is only for protection of the underlying tissue. Okay, so different arrangement, different function, locations are also different. Here you can see the diagram. Okay, now this is the schematic diagram showing the dense regular connective tissue. So what are these? These are the bundles of collagen fibers. Okay, these are the bundles of collagen fibers. Okay, and here you can see the rows of fibroblasts. See how the fibroblasts are arranged. Okay, so this is the dense regular connective tissue. Now here you can see dense irregular connective tissue. Best example is periosteum, dermis of the skin. So this is the dermis of the skin where dense irregular connective tissue is present. Okay, तो इसका फंक्शन क्या है? प्रोवाइड टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ. इसका फंक्शन क्या है? प्रोटेक्शन. Next is the reticular connective tissue. So in case of reticular connective tissue, reticular fibers and reticular cells are present. Okay, location is lymphoid organs. Okay, bone marrow, liver, kidney. These are the areas where it is present. If you see the reticular connective tissue, it helps, especially in case of lymphoid tissue, it helps to form a filter which removes the microbe from the lymph node. Okay, these are some important functions of the reticular connective tissue. Next is the elastic connective tissue where elastic fibers are there. Okay, then if you see the location, it is present in the walls of the arteries, trachea, bronchial tubes, vocal cords, etc. So when elastic connective tissue will be there, it will allow the organ or that particular tissue to be stretched. Okay, very simple. Lastly, the embryonic connective tissue is there. Okay, now this embryonic connective tissue, I am having one slide of the embryonic connective tissue and I will show you today. Okay, the slide is umbilical cord. First of all, the embryonic connective tissue is derived from mesoderm. Okay, two types are there. One is mesenchyme and another one is mucus connective tissue. Now, if you see the mesenchyme, this is the diagram. Okay, found in embryo. First of all, mesenchymal cells are there, which is spindle-shaped, small, and cytoplasmic processes are there. Those cytoplasmic processes are connected to each other by gap junction. Okay, along with that, you can see the collagen fibers also. So, see, spindle-shaped mesenchymal cells can be seen, and along with that, collagen fibers are there, and these are the processes. These are the cell processes of the mesenchymal cells. Okay. Next is the mucus connective tissue. In case of mucus connective tissue, mainly it is present in case of umbilical cord. If you see the umbilical cord, what are the contents of the umbilical cord? Two umbilical arteries are there and one umbilical vein. These are the contents. Those structures are held together, okay, by the tissue which is present, and that is the mucus tissue, mucus connective tissue. Now, in mucus connective tissue, again we are getting two components, that is cells and Wharton's jelly. Okay, in cells, what we are getting? In cells, we are getting the mesenchymal cells. Okay, as you can see, the processes of the mesenchymal cells can be seen. These spindle-shaped mesenchymal cells. Here you can see the cells processes. Okay, and along with that, in case of Wharton's jelly, it consists of mainly hyaluronic acid, and it is gelatin-like. Because of the presence of this hyaluronic acid, the water content is more and it is viscous gel-like. Now, यहाँ पे भी क्या problem होता है? As you can see, so many empty spaces are there. See, so many empty spaces are there. तो जो Wharton's jelly है, it is washed away during the tissue processing. That's why you can see numerous empty spaces. Okay. Now, today I will show you the slide of umbilical cord. Okay. तो ऐसे, this will be the appearance. So in the slide of the umbilical cord, first of all, you have to see that a outer covering is there. Now this outer covering is called as amnion. If you see the cells, these are nothing but simple squamous epithelial cell. Next, inside this, ये जो pink color में दिखाई दे रहा है, this is nothing but the Wharton's jelly. But you will see that in most of the cases, Wharton's jelly has been washed away, replaced. Okay, white appearance होगा, empty appearance. Next, ये जो dot दिखाई दे रहा है, can you see multiple dots are there? These are nothing but the mesenchymal cells. Okay. Now, if you zoom the mesenchymal cell under high magnification, then this will be the appearance. ऐसे appearance आएगा. So suppose you are zooming over here under high magnification, then this will be the appearance. तो इसमें क्या दिखाई देगा? You will be able to see some of the collagen fibers along with that the mesenchymal cells. And mesenchymal cells, the spindle-shaped cell and their cytoplasmic processes. Those can also be seen. Okay. When we'll see the umbilical cord, okay, so the structures present inside the umbilical cord, you can see two umbilical arteries are there and one umbilical vein is there. So now you don't have to identify the difference between arteries and vein, because ये अभी तक क्लास में नहीं हुआ है, ठीक है? Just you will see that yes, arteries भी है, vein भी है. What we have to see exactly is this particular picture. Okay. So for this particular slide, what we have to do? First, we have to zoom under low magnification to see the overall view, and then under high magnification to see those mesenchymal cells. Okay. So that is all about the classification of generalized connective tissue.